Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. It's May 1st, which means that Fear the Walking Dead is premiering this month, and Dead City is premiering next month, and Comic-Con is in 2 months from now, and we'll likely get our first footage there for the Rick and Michonne TV show, as well as the Daryl Dixon show, because that show, the first season anyways, was finished filming like, what, a month or two ago or something, and they're likely putting a trailer together for that, right? Like, that's gonna be the one thing. I know we're probably gonna get a teaser trailer of some sorts for the Rick and Michonne TV show at Comic-Con, but like we should get like an official trailer for the Daryl Dixon show at Comic-Con, because I'm assuming that show's gonna be premiering in October. It's likely gonna be your typical Walking Dead Comic-Con sort of thing, right? Where they released this big trailer. I mean, the Daryl Dixon show is gonna be a pretty big show, so yeah, that makes sense. But anyways, I'm just very excited. So obviously, before we go any further, make sure to hit subscribe if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, definitely go do so. The link should be in the description. But yeah, Fear the Walking Dead's premiere is, it's premiering next week. If you have AMC Plus, I believe it is premiering on May 11th, which is next Thursday, and then it would be on the 14th if you watch it on cable. So 13 days away if you watch it on cable, or 10 days away, I guess, if you watch it on AMC Plus, which is the way I'm going to be watching it. So yeah, I'll have my review out on May 11th, which is really exciting. Only 10 more days and we get to watch this premiere. There's a few things I want to talk about in this video, and I actually want to talk about some stuff regarding the story here for Fear the Walking Dead, but I want to talk about some stuff here in terms of at least Dead City anyways, because that show it's very surprising how much we're not really getting anything, you know, like in terms of trailers and just stuff in general for the show. Like the show is coming out literally next month. It's in like what, 30 something days, or not 30 days, but it'd be like 48 days, 50 days or something like that. Like it's very close. Like it's really not that far away. Actually, it's exactly 48 days. I just looked it up. So yeah, 48 days until the premiere of The Walking Dead Dead City. Like you'd figure at this point that we would have gotten a trailer already. I know we got a few teaser trailers and stuff, but just something else, something different, I think. And I think that's actually one of the things that I'm personally just wondering about in terms of marketing and stuff like that, because it kind of feels like their strategies have sort of changed in terms of all of this. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, you know, even just going back to season 7 and 8, even before that, well, I guess it is hard to remember how much they promoted it online, you know, going back, I guess anything before season 7 and 8, because back then, not a lot was done like that. You know, a lot of it was done through commercials and stuff. And it could be because I am focusing more on it now, right? So it could feel a little different, but I will say, just in terms of promoting this stuff online and just everywhere, you know, it doesn't feel like they're doing as much for this as they used to. That's what it feels like. But I will also say it doesn't seem like shows in general right now do a lot of that. Like, that's the thing. I know people online will say, like, why haven't we gotten the trailer yet? Why haven't we gotten this or that? And I don't really know. I don't know who's managing a lot of this stuff, because I feel like there's a way to make everything more exciting, especially for the online community as well. There is a way to make things a lot more exciting, like on Twitter or just all your social media stuff. There's a way to make things way more exciting, to hype people up for a lot of stuff. I know they used to do like the 9 weeks or the 10 weeks of reveals or 11 weeks of reveals, right? Like they were doing that. Those did kind of work, but I think the issue with that though is that it was sort of, I think people were expecting a bigger reveal because you made it like officially a thing, right? Whereas I think in general, maybe you should have just kind of kept that more on a weekly schedule, just more privately, and then just release stuff weekly kind of thing. And I think people would have liked that just a lot, because like, honestly, anything like that, just an image still, you release that once a week, or like a couple of them once a week, people are very excited about that. You come up with new artwork or character portraits, people are excited for that. And that doesn't really take a lot, right? That's just very simple stuff. And people online are so hyped. They're so excited. This feels so legit. And like, yeah, it's just very exciting. And they haven't really done that a lot. I think the last character portraits they did were for season 9. So it's a little shocking that first of all hasn't been done in a while. I know season 11 was hyped up quite a bit. It was promoted a lot, especially in the last 8. Well, especially that last episode, they really went all out there. But yeah, it is just hard to say, like, are they just not doing it because they just, you know, they're not making enough in terms of these shows anymore, so they're just reducing the amount they're promoting it? Or is this more an industry-wide thing? Because I see a lot of shows that have been out that really have not been promoted that much. Like they're really not. Like it's not what we're used to in terms of marketing anyways, right? Like years ago there would be so much there. Like there would be a lot, and there just hasn't been a lot. But I do also understand the argument that, you know, the show Interview with the Vampire, obviously owned by AMC as well, that show, at least the first season last year, got a lot of marketing, and they were promoting that show way more than they were The Walking Dead. And obviously it's because they want to grow that into a whole universe and everything as well, right? Like that's their plan with that. So we see that like they are capable of promoting stuff like that much. It's just, it is a little weird that with The Walking Dead, they don't necessarily do that, you know, because The Walking Dead is still like their biggest show, I'm assuming. So like, I find it a little off that they're not promoting it as much. And I know Fear the Walking Dead isn't The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead Dead City, I think, is very capable of becoming, you know, like the new Walking Dead. I'm not saying it's going to be as popular as The Walking Dead in its heyday and all of that, but, you know, I see it being as popular as The Walking Dead was in season 11 or in season 10 kind of thing, especially with the Rick and Michonne show. In terms of ratings, I could see it going back up to like, you know, season 9 heights kind of thing. But it just really depends, to be honest. Like, it depends on what your expectations are in terms of stuff like that. Like, you know, whenever I go look at the Fear the Walking Dead, like, especially like right now, I'm looking at the Twitter page, they do have a lot of stuff on there. Like, they actually do have a lot. Like, every couple days they're posting something. There's like new footage of something. There's a new teaser for this. There's new images like this. There's really, really cool. Like, I'm looking at this Daniel one right now, and it's actually really cool. It's like a shattered mirror or shattered glass sort of thing. And there's a bunch of like footage overlays or underlays or whatever. Like, there is some really interesting stuff here that they're doing. Imagine this was for The Walking Dead. Like, this would be really cool, right? So I think they are doing quite a bit, especially for Fear the Walking Dead. My question is mostly with The Walking Dead Dead City. I just think that we should have a little bit more. But I'll say this, though. I'm just going to say this right now. Like, I think people have the right to complain if it's May 25th and there's nothing for Dead City yet. Like, that trailer is not out yet. But I think they're probably going to release the trailer, likely maybe after Fear the Walking Dead premieres, right? So that first episode of Fear the Walking Dead, that's when I expect a trailer for The Walking Dead Dead City. So yeah, I wouldn't panic too much right now. I do think we're going to get that trailer in like 13 days from now. And yeah, obviously I'll break it down once we get that, because I'm really excited to know what the story is going to be. Like, we've gotten teaser trailers before, we've gotten stuff like that, and we actually learned a lot more about the story for Dead City. But obviously trailers, when they're released, there's a lot more footage there, there's a lot more insight into certain things. And yeah, I would like to know more of what the story is, because there's a rumor out there right now that the story for Dead City is that this group here that's in New York, like the Croat anyways, he's the main leader here, or the villain, he's the one that is calling for people to, I guess, arrest Negan, right? Because he did a bunch of stuff when he was the leader of the Saviors and all that. Is that a real storyline? Because obviously that's just a rumor out there, but if they confirm that with the trailer, man, people are going to be so excited for that. So I guess just to give some final thoughts in terms of that, like, yeah, I could see how fans do see that they have sort of, you know, they haven't promoted The Walking Dead as much as they have in the past, but I think they are still doing a pretty good job with it. It just depends on your expectations. It really does depend on that. And so far, I think it's overall fine. I think they could be doing a little bit more, though, just because Interview with the Vampire, you know, they did do a lot for that show. So I still think they could be doing a lot more for The Walking Dead, for sure. Like, just have the emoji or something for, like, The Walking Dead Dead City. You know what I mean? I still think they could be doing a little bit more, but overall, I also think everything is sort of overall in line with other shows and what they're doing. And not all shows, obviously, there's a lot of other shows that really go all out. I brought this up as an example before, but, like, The Legend of Zelda, I know, like, that game's coming out next week or in 2 weeks or something, and they are really going all out with promoting that game. But then again, like, you know, games are just overall different, right? So Fear the Walking Dead, though, is premiering next week, so I'm very excited to see what that first episode brings and the stuff that they set up here. and Dead City is next month. I expect an official trailer to drop probably like, again, with the premiere, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But I did want to talk about Madison a little bit here, and I got this interview here, or article, by Insider. I'll leave a link down below to the article. Definitely go and check it out. There's so much in here. Like, I definitely recommend going to go check it out because there's a lot more information. There's a lot more quotes in here. I'm just going to be getting into just some of the stuff that I learned here. And one thing is Madison's survival in the season 4 mid-season finale is something that is going to be explored here. And I find that interesting just because I actually thought they were probably going to ignore that. I thought that it was just already kind of, explained that she just made it out somehow, and now she has to use this oxygen mask basically to survive. But I thought it was just pretty self-explanatory that she just got out because she climbed out, or maybe somebody rescued her, sort of thing. So I'm assuming that, the reason they're going back to tell this story is because it actually plays a pretty important part here overall with her story and maybe the overall story for season 8. And there was also something that the showrunners said here in terms of the show ending, which was the end is in the beginning. Like, they talked a lot about ending the story, it's the final season and just how do you approach that sort of thing. And they said like the end is in the beginning. So that tells me right there that I'm expecting a full circle type of storytelling method. I think they're probably going to look at the origins of these characters. How do these characters start? What is something that has been plaguing them throughout? And, in order for them to overcome that, I guess the answer to that is going to be in the beginning of their stories, right? And so that, first of all, tells me that with Morgan, like on this show anyways, it started with him running away. So I think he's going to go back and like not run away kind of thing, right? With Madison, it is really hard to predict where her story is going to overall go. But I think it's likely just going to be, I want to go and try find Alicia. She's probably out there. Family is everything, because Madison's story in the very beginning really wasn't anything too noticeable. Like, it was pretty, like, I'm just trying to keep my family safe kind of thing. And then she's experienced stuff since then. So I think if anything, it's just sort of going back to that. And then with other characters, I think a lot of that is going to be the same type of thing. It's going to be rooted in that. I do find it interesting, though, with Dwight and Sherry, just that dynamic there, because if you're approaching it the same way, it's interesting, right? Like, it's interesting with certain characters where I could see them going to other spinoffs, and just how do you end it in a way where some of that stuff is going to be coming back up? Because that's also a thing, too, if you think about it, like Maggie and Negan, they ended their whole feud in the season 11 finale. Like they never officially really ended it, but Maggie did say, like, I know you've changed. I can see it. I can see that you're a different person and you do regret these things, but I just can't get over it. I can't look at your face. I can't see you like this because it's just a reminder. And I'm sorry, basically, right? And it seemed like they both sort of forgave each other in the best way that was possible. And well, I would say Maggie forgave Negan anyways. And then we fast forward a couple years and it looks like Maggie and Negan are going to be fighting each other again, or at least arguing and stuff, right? So it's like, are they going to be doing the same thing here with some of these characters? Like, they'll be ending their stories in a certain way, but because they're likely going to be going to other spin-offs, they'll just like restart it kind of thing. Like, that's my assumption anyways, at least with certain characters like Dwight and Sherry, because I don't think you could really end their stories without having Dwight reunite with Negan, especially with Daryl as well, because if you remember, Dwight's story ended on The Walking Dead with Daryl telling him to get lost. If I ever see you again, I'll kill you, right? So I want to see Daryl and Dwight meet each other again. You know how cool it would be if Dwight actually took Daryl's crossbow again? Like, I know some people found that very annoying in season 7 and 8, but like looking back at it now, it would just be kind of cool to see Dwight use that weapon again. Just because, I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool to see. But anyways, I'll end it here. I just wanted to kind of talk about this because May 1st, so I thought I would just sort of start off the month with a sort of what to expect for the next, I guess, couple of weeks here. Talk a little bit about the marketing and the promotion for Dead City, because I know that's a topic right now online. And I saw this article here about Madison's survival and them exploring that. And I'm excited to see where they're going to take Fear the Walking Dead and how they're going to approach it. And I still do believe a lot of what I was saying in my other video, which is I think Fear the Walking Dead season 8, the ending to it anyways, is going to feel a lot like season 11, where they will end certain people's storylines, but I think certain characters are going to be in spin-offs, so I just think that there's going to be a lack of death, but probably a little bit more death on the show, because I think you're able to kill off more Fear characters than you could Walking Dead characters. But I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.